Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Noob Sniper bringing you some awesome Destiny news. Today is August 27th. It is the weekly update, and this is a big one. Strap yourselves in, we got some Destiny content coming your way. So I went ahead and cut out all the filler. We're going to get right into it. We have here Escalation. Once you've completed the new story campaign, a whole new suite of endgame activities will beckon. So basically, you need to complete the story before you can actually get to all the nitty-gritty content, the meat of the Year 2 Taken King. So in our Strike of the Dreadnought, which was the Twitch stream, they wanted to, kind of progress strikes. So strike replayability is augmented by variability. This means that enemies are going to spawn differently. There's going to be different lines of text, different endings, different beginnings, different middles. There also might be level differences. You might be able to increase or decrease the level. We'll see. Bosses with more interesting combat phases and less vitality, so less health and more interesting, innovative stuff. And strike-specific rewards, so you'll have armor and weapons that drop specifically from certain strikes, which is really cool. It gives you some farming capabilities in Destiny, which was kind of left up to randomness and RNG before. So as you can see here, they've actually removed the Nightfall buff, which is interesting. They feel like it didn't really fit how they expected it to, and so instead, they are adjusting XP and reputation to account for this loss. The Nightfalls do require level 40, which is your level, not your light level. Wiping no longer returns your fire teams to orbit. That's a pretty big one. But instead, you now use a 30-second respawn timer for death, which is the same as the raid on normal, for example. You die, you have to wait 30 seconds before you can revive your teammate. Now, although you won't get returned to orbit if you do wipe, it does add a little bit of difficulty when you are 2-man down or even 1-man down. So we're going to see some interesting Nightfalls, maybe a little bit easier, maybe a little bit harder. We'll have to see in Year 2. Here we see that they have addressed the weekly heroic strikes. What was previously one per character now becomes a unified account-wide basis. In its form is now the Vanguard Heroic Playlist. So each week players receive bonus legendary marks from the weekly heroic playlist. These awards are received at the account level rather than the character level. Now we can see you can focus on one character instead of having to try to gear up on all three, which is pretty cool. Requirements does require level 40. And you will, again, accounts will receive legendary marks for completing the first 3 weekly strikes. You remove the weekly cap on how many can actually be earned. And you are guaranteed a legendary engram drop from a character's first clear of a weekly heroic strike. This kind of irks me. I don't know what the wording is there. If that means if I do it on every character individually, if I do on my Hunter, my Warlock, and then my Titan, my guaranteed 3 legendary drops. Are they trying to incentivize a little bit of variety in your gameplay? I'm not sure. Or if that just means per week, whatever character you first start off, that's your legendary engram. Either way, we got some gear. That's pretty cool. I like these changes up the game entirely. Pretty cool. This change is pretty cool. It adds something to Lord's Shacks and it adds a little bit more rewards for doing PvP. Along with the daily PvP bounties, you also have weekly PvP bounties. I believe there are 5. When you complete these 5 PvP weekly bounties, your 6th PvP bounty, again, is right there with it. Automatically unlocks and you receive Nightfall tier rewards. Pretty cool, rewarding players who like PvP over PvE. Tying in with the transition from character-specific to account-wide, the daily heroic and daily PvP activities have also been altered. They are now account-wide, and you can get some pretty awesome rewards from it. They've increased the rewards, and you can get legendary marks. Let's go. Of course, Oryx lies ahead, and Oryx does lie between you and these endgame challenges. So you will have to progress through the story mode, through the strikes, and complete all the actual Taken King campaign content, if you want to call it a campaign, before you can actually start attempting some of these things, which I think makes sense. They also touched note on the pre-existing Digital Collector's Edition purchasers. If you have purchased it, they said they are going to be addressing it and probably helping you guys. If I had to guess, I would say that you guys are going to receive one, if not both, of the future DLCs for Year 2 of Destiny for free. I'm not 100% sure. That's pure speculation. I don't see what else they could give you. They can't just give you your money back for the excess content that you already own. So I do feel inclined like they are going to give you DLCs for free if you are a Digital Collector's Edition owner. Update 2.0 marks the beginning of Destiny Year 2. On September 8th, you will receive a massive, huge patch to download and install. This is the beginning of year 2. Taken King is still being released on September 15th, but in preparation for that, a week before, you are getting the patch and all the tidbits inside. In terms of hard drive space, the PS4 and Xbox One will require 18 gigabytes. Yes, gigabytes. It's a big, huge patch of hard drive space. PS3 and Xbox 360 owners, the PS3 will initially require 20 gigabytes, while the 360 will require 10 gigabytes. And another note is said here is that after the installation on the PS3, it will require another 10 gigabytes. That sounds incorrect. I think that actually might be applicable to the 360 version, maybe. Either way, it's going to be roughly somewhere between 10 to 20 gigabytes if I had to guess, so be prepared for a large update. That concludes the weekly update notes. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments below, whether you're looking forward to year 2, what changes you do and don't like. I'd like to hear your opinion and your thoughts. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and if you did find the video informative and or enjoyable, hit the like button too. It helps the channel grow. I know everyone says it, but it's true. Thanks guys for watching. Noob Sniper out.